So Hare Krishna. Today we will start with Purushottama Yoga. Okay, it's called Yoga of Supreme Person. Okay, so word Purushottama means in the state of Purushas, he is called the Purusha Uttamas. Among them, he is the most topmost person called the Purushottama. And so this chapter is also similar to the 12th chapter in terms of devotional service. It is very easy and small chapter with a very less number of 20 slokas, and also similar to the other slokas in other chapters like the 11th chapter, 10th chapter and 9th chapter. This is all about the vibhuti or the opulence of the Supreme Lord. So the Lord is going to talk about more of his opulence, his uh, parakram, his supremacy and his benevolence. So whatever way we want to understand. So how he has done it is in very short 20 slokas. That's what we're going to go. The first sloka itself, Krishna starts Udva Moolam Adashakam Ashvattam Prahuraviyam, which means what he's saying is this entire word is something like you have to giving an analogy called a banyan tree. Okay, see how the banyan tree is. It is not in the straight way where you have the roots at the ground and the branches, trunk, and the leaves outward. It is the complete reflection or the the reverse side of the tree, where your root is pointing upwards, the leaves, the branches are all on the downward side. Okay, so where it is mentioned like the Vedic hymns or the Vedas are nothing but the leaves from which when somebody is able to understand, read through it, then they will get the fruits. So the fruits are nothing but the fruits, the results that is already available in the based on our karma. So what Krishna is saying is you have to imagine this tree as a tree that is a reflection of your spiritual activity in the material world. So it is like completely opposite. It is like in the reflection. So for example, if you have your mirror, then whatever you see is a reflection in the opposite side. Your left hand will show it as right, right hand will show it as left. So similarly, it is completely a reflection. Like for example, if you are in a near the pool of water or river somewhere, if you see any tree or something, then you will see it is completely in the opposite way. So what Krishna is saying is we have to cut. We are entangled within this trees, branches, within the trunk, everything. So as atmas, there are a lot of things that is already available there. So much so that you have a lot of fruits, various things that are already available in the leaves, etc. But our main point is we have to cut the trees, branches. We have to leave the leaves and keep moving upwards towards the root. So when you keep moving towards the root, then the desire all will be channelized properly, and all your sense control will come, and all your pious activities, everything will go off. Until otherwise you are within the tree, everything will be available, like your pious activities, your karma, good karma, your papam, your sense objects, your economic development, whatever be it, everything is within the same tree. So it is recommended that you focus towards moving towards the upper side where you have the actual roots. Okay, so this is like this, another way. So the twigs are the objects of senses. The tree also has roots going down, and these are bound to the fruitive activities of human society. So our focus is towards getting out of this tree and moving towards the root part. Okay, that's how Krishna has put it in terms of that is how we have to see that no, whatever is there in spiritual activity is the reflection, or the perverted reflection of the actual spiritual world is in the material world. Whatever characteristics, propensicities that we have is the reflection of whatever we have it in the spiritual world, but it is in a completely opposite state. Okay. For example, religiosity, good wealth, everything in the spiritual world is absolutely right. Good, even whatever characteristics that we have, it is oppositely found in the material world. So what is most important? The real form of this tree cannot be perceived in this world. No one understands where it starts and where it begins. But with determination, what we must do, we have to just cut this tree with a weapon of detachment. So when we are able to do it, then we will be able to go back to the Supreme Lord. So that's how he has put it in a kind of an analogy for us to understand. It's like, no, it's like somebody saying, I am bounded by my karma, I am bounded by family, etc. Right? So how do we cut that and go off? Is the example given here. So the Lord is the actual original root from whom everything has emanated. Okay, so the root is there, sitting somewhere in the spiritual world, and from there the tree has grown towards bottom side, and then it has all the way come down till the human this Earth planet, and it has got all its branches, leaves, fruits, everything. So we are all entangled in that, and we are supposed to go climb upwards towards the root. How do we do it? By cutting ourselves with the tree branches, everything, then we will be able to go upwards. So one who is free from illusion, false prestige and false ego, then only they will be able to easily do it. Okay, so the first qualification, as we told earlier also, who is not deluded by the pride. Okay, the pride is where I am the owner, I am the, I am the proprietor, it is all because of me. The word I itself indicate that you are still holding that so-called pride. So it is very necessary that you leave out that portion of so-called I, then you will be able to get the mercy of the Lord. So this sloka is also very important. So this entire chapter, all these slokas, you can mug it up or you can by heart it, because this is also very, very powerful chapter, similar to the devotion service Bhakti Yoga. Purushottama Yoga is also very important chapter where all these slokas are very important. For example, this sloka, Natad Bhashiyate Suryo Shanko na Pavakaha Yad Gatva na Nivartante Tadhama Paramam Mama. Which means what? He's saying, if somebody comes to my lokam, they will not see any kind of electricity, no sun, no moon. What is it? Because of the Lord's effulgence. The effulgence that is coming after the Lord itself is so powerful that it will have the light. Okay, it will have that illumination, and whomsoever reaches there will never return back, because they will have that eternal position there, and they will be doing some kind of a seva along with the for the Supreme Lord. So this sloka is also important, where it says, Mamai Vamso Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatanaha Manashastani Indriyani Pakiristani Karshati. Karshati means what? It is very, very hard. It, like, it is very, very struggle. Actually, the conditioned soul, this Jivatma is actually suffering, but it is not able to realize that it is suffering actually. So it is very important that somebody should understand that this Bhulokam or this planetary system is Rukkalayam, and then it is permanent. It is not permanent, and we are supposed to go out of this Rukkalayam. Okay. And there is very nice story I would have told many times, but I'm just telling you how we are living with the happiness is like, for example, you have a camel that goes in the desert. Okay, it has got the characteristics of camel. It will drink more water and store, and it will eat the cactus plants or tree which is full of thorns, right? But the cactus plants will have a lot of juicy water that is stored for a long time. So it has made in such a way that its tongue is so thick that it will eat the thorns also. But what will happen is, when the camel eats the thorn, it will actually prick their tongue, and blood will come out of the tongue, okay, or the mouth. Okay, but unfortunately, that camel is so entangled that it is not able to realize that when the blood comes out, it gets the taste of the blood. But what it is assuming is the taste is coming out from the plant, the cactus. So it will keep on eating more and more. It is actually the blood that it is tasting, which the camel is assuming it is coming from the plant, right? Which is completely not true and false, because it is actually suffering. The blood is coming out, but still it is not able to understand this because of the thorn. Similarly, we are also thinking that we are enjoying. We are having a lot of very good time. Actually, we are suffering, and we are sweating out like anything, struggling so much to hard-earned money, and then we call it ourselves we are enjoying, right? So that is what the big difference is. and we have to understand how the living entity moves from another body. We have seen very detailed in the second chapter. Again, Krishna is making some specific examples, like how the smoke, the smoke, the air contains or carries the aroma. Similarly, the jivatma moves from one body to another body without any difficulty. And similarly, for example, you have a very clear water. If you had a little bit of any kind of specific color, immediately the water takes up that particular color, right? So similarly, when this jivatma takes up the body, and then immediately it will accustom to that particular bodily needs. For example, if it takes the body of a python, if it takes a body of an ant, if it takes a body of a particular animal species, then immediately the characteristics of that particular animal's T will be invoked, and it will start performing the activities. See, the meaning what the consciousness of that particular animal will be invoked for that particular jivatma according to its desire, and then will start fulfilling it. So again, he is mentioning fools will not be able to understand. He is mentioning the same again. What he is saying is, the present day there are so many yogis, so many associations and all. They will all try to do some kind of exercise or the way they want to understand in terms of their physical well-being. But most important is the self-realization, which is required for cultivation of the knowledge. So that portion is lacking, which is what Krishna is also saying, which is very important that we all get into the situation where we get to see things very clearly with the use of our knowledge that whatever we have gained. So this is again another very nice slokam where it is mentioning about the opulence and the vibhuti of the Lord, where he is saying yat aditya gadam tejo jagat bhashyati akhilam yat chandram yat shakno tat tejo vidhi mamakam. Without mercy of the Lord, there will not be any sun, there will not be any moon, there will not be any fire. Without the help of moon, sun, fire, no one can live, right? So when in this material world, for us to live, these are some basic essential things that are required, right? So how are they getting? They're getting is just through the mercy of the Lord. So that's what he's also again saying in the 15th this particular sloka. And this one is also very important. Gama Vaishasya Bhutani Dharyami Ahamojasa, which is now what I am the person we have seen, right? We have seen the Mahavishnu, then the Garbhodaksha Vishnu, Shiradaksha Vishnu, and Karnodaksha Vishnu, from where from Mahatattva, from the Mahavishnu, the planetary systems are created, and from there the Mahavishnu, the other small planetary systems are created, and then finally the Jivatma, within the Jiva, along with Jivatma, the Paramatma enters into all the bodies, right? So that is one part. And the other part, what he is mentioning is, even for moon to moon actually plays a very important role in the growth. People will not understand the potency of the moon, but they will all understand sun, because of sun only everything grows. Actually, at the night time, what moon does is it gives the juice, or the essence of the vitamins, proteins, everything, whatever be it, it gives that juice. Okay, so that is all your vegetables, whatever grains that you get the taste is just because of the soma, which is nothing but the moon god. Okay, so at the night time, all the regeneration of the plants, everything will happen. Mostly we all know that sun is very essential, but moon is also very essential, because that only provides the juice, or you call it as the rasam, the taste. And this is also, we know, like I'm the fire in digestion. Yesterday we have seen, which means what, very very important, the Lord is sitting inside our body. He is igniting the fire so that our body takes the required strength, the food gets digested properly, and the energy is spread across all over the body, and the consciousness remains active. He is also saying that I am the air of life, outgoing, incoming, by which I digest the four kinds of food. Okay, the four kinds of food we all know, which is salty, which is sweet, which is lavanam. So all whatever kinds of the main foods, which are watery, juicy, thick, solid food, all those things, who is making it is only the through Krishna. And this is one of the most important slokas in Bhagavad Gita. Very nicely you can sing it. Sarva sachaham vriti sannivrishto matta smritinyanam apohanam cha vedaishcha sarvair ahameva vedyo vedanta kritveda videha chaham. So what is saying? I am the person sitting in everybody's heart as Paramatma. What is he doing? The most important thing, he gives the knowledge that we have seen. Along with the knowledge, what he is giving the remembrance and forgetfulness. For us to perform an act, I told you about the intelligence, right? For you to perform an act, you invoke the intelligence rather your mind. So when you invoke the intelligence, the Lord will bring out the remembrance of the past activities and what will happen if this happens. So like this, he will invoke the remembrance, and he is the person who will, if you don't want to remember, he is the person who will give you the forgetfulness also. Okay, how do you say? For example, somebody like kind of atheists who don't want to believe the Lord, so they want to forget about all the Lord activities. What they will do? They will start saying, no, 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 I will not believe God. I will not believe God. So immediately, what Krishna will sanction? Okay, tatastu. You don't want to believe me. I will ensure you that you will completely forget me, because that is what you want. I will fulfill that. So what Krishna is saying, I give you the remembrance and the forgetfulness also. So it all depends upon our desire and our attitude and our sincerity and faith, by which he will ensure all the remembrance as required and forgetfulness also. So somebody was asking in the previous classes how somebody are born very intelligently, they're able to remember everything. It is because of their previous karma, and as well as you start praying that please I will make sure I'm able to remember everything and I don't forget. And accordingly they will be able to. But somebody who is very dull who don't want to remember, then Krishna will sanction that also. Okay. And the next portion of this Veda is to survive Ahameva Vedyo, which means what? By all the Vedas, you should know that I am the compiler, which is he is saying in 10th chapter, he is the compiler of Vedanta, right? And I am the knower of all the Vedas. And by knowing all the Vedas also, what is we get? We get to know about the Supreme Lord. Okay, that is what we have to see. So this sloka is very important, because if somebody is saying no, I don't remember, I will not accept God, which means then you have to say you are not able to remember, you are not to accept God, because that is also sanctioned by the Lord only. Okay, anything that is happening is at the will of the Lord. If somebody doesn't want to accept Lord, then that nature is also given by the Lord only. But unfortunately, they are not able to. Uh, they are not able to understand, or they are made to be in that situation because of their desire. That's all. But if the desire changes, then Krishna will definitely help them to get into the smritir part, where they are able to remember the knowledge. This is also very important. Dvamino purusham loke sharas akshara evacha sharas sarvani bhutani kutasto akshara uchyate. So I've told you in the previous class, the human body gets into six transformations, right? Born, then growing, then in a very grown up state, and then slowly start dwindling, and finally old, and then getting died. So in this there are two categories. One is fallible and infallible. Whomsoever who's not able to accept the Lord's supremacy in terms of who is he, what is he, and their eternal position, they will always come. They will be in the state of fallible state, which means they'll definitely come back. That we have already seen. Whomsoever who is completely having the faith and trust, Krishna is giving that assurance. They are in the infallible category, which means what? They will never come back. So in the material world, everything will be going cycling, but in the spiritual world, nothing. It will be permanent, and there is no age, old age, no birth, nothing. They will be just be in the spiritual world with their spiritual bodies. Uttama Purushastvanya, which means very important. There is the greatest living personality. The Lord Himself is saying, who has entered into these worlds. I've told you about this Mahavishnu, Mahatattva, then the other Vishnus, right? So that's what again in terms of the Purushottama is saying. Uttama Purushastvanya. No one can surpass the Supreme Personality. Right? So like if somebody is trying to, okay, I will try to somehow or another manage. No, they cannot do it. Okay, so that they have to understand. And this sloka is very important, where he is made to understand as the Purushottama, because I am transcendental both by the fallible and infallible, and because I'm the greatest, I'm celebrated in the whole in the world in the Vedas as the supreme person. So when you read through all the sacrifices, finally they will say Krishna Sarvam Krishna Arpanamastu, Sarvam Krishna Arpanamastu, in whatever sacrifices, or if you read the entire Vedas, and finally they will conclude that who is the supreme person, that is the Lord. So Krishna himself is declaring that I am the Purushottama. So what is he requesting? You don't have to worry about anything too much. Just surrender unto me, and then if you start worshipping me, you will get all the benefits. That's what Krishna is declaration. This is kind of the Lord's declaration. So whoever, so this again is Yomam Evam Asham Mudo Jhanadi Purushottam Sa Sarva Vid Bhajatimam Sarva Bhavena Bhavata. He is saying whomsoever knows me as the Supreme Lord without doubting. If you have no doubt, and then if you engage yourself in devotional service, Krishna is giving that assurance again. Okay. So again, this is another way. He is without doubting, is to be understood as the knower of everything. So what is that you gain? You will gain the best qualification as knower of everything, as the most knowledgeable person. Like for example, um, knowledge, when it is not put into practice, when it is matured, it becomes bhakti. Correct. So the karma that you perform should be matured to understand you have gained the knowledge, and when the knowledge is at the matured state, it is nothing but bhakti. Right? So you don't have to really worry, should I pass through a karma, jnana and bhakti. But if you start practicing whatever the bhakti, automatically you will be following the karma principles, automatically you will get the jnana. Okay? So that is more important than getting into separately of various performing various sacrifices, various yajnas, performing all the tapasya. Those things are all not at all required. So that's what Krishna is advising. This one is very important. This is the last sloka. Iti gupyatamam shastram idam uktam mayanakah etad bhutva buddhimanshat itasta cha bharata. Iti gupyatamam. Gupyam means the most confidential knowledge. Okay, which is what the most confidential part of Vedic structure is disclosed. What is it? That whomsoever understands this will become wise. That what the Lord is the supreme Lord. I am the servant of the Lord, and I am just being a servant of the Lord. I am serving. I have to just serve the Lord, perform my duties, and then ensure that I will go back to Him. So that is what the understanding knowledge you have got. Then that is the best of the best, and you are already performing the bhakti. So that's what he is himself is saying. The Lord is said to be the sun, and ignorance is called darkness. Okay. So when we all know, when sun comes, immediately the darkness is disappeared. There's nothing. There's no question of darkness, right? So that is what we have to understand. So in the 10th chapter, 11th sloka, he has already told, right? तेषां सततयुक्तानां भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकं ददामि बुद्धियोगं तं येन माम् उपयान्ति. The response was dadami buddhi yogam tam. He is giving the buddhi, he is giving the knowledge, sitting where tesham evanukampartam aham ajnanajam tamah nashayami atma bhavasto jnana deepena, which means what atma bhavasto means. He is sitting right inside your heart, jnana deepena bhashvata. What is he doing? He is giving you the jnanam, the light by which bhashvata, which means your the ignorance is completely removed. So we don't have to endeavor too much in terms of our knowledge gathering, everything. All we have to do is Saradharman Paritachya Mam Ekam Charanam Bija. All we have to do is just surrender to him. Masuchara. He is already seeing, he is already don't worry. If you start surrendering unto me, then you will be easily able to understand me. So that's what he is specifically mentioned. Okay. So this is all about this particular chapter. Okay. Um, So in the coming chapter, this is what we are going to see in terms of Daivasura Sampata Vibhoga Yogam, the 16th chapter. 15th is about the Purushottama. Okay. Yeah. So maybe we can take some more time to explain the first sloka, which is very important sloka. Okay. So before getting into the next chapter, maybe we will we'll focus more on the first sloka. See, if you see in the sloka, there are a lot of branches, a lot of things that has been put into the tree. Okay, what we have to understand is this material, this spiritual world is a perverted reflection of the spiritual world, which means what? Whatever is there mentioned or doing there, it is oppositely done here. For example, what we do as love and affection there is nothing but lust here, right? Whatever the so-called good nature in terms of serving the Lord uh, with a competitive attitude is completely perverted here as, and in terms of the hatred, in terms of the jealousy, in terms of the anger. So the desire is also there. It is completely serving the Lord. Here the desire is serving ourselves. There the desire is to please the Lord. Here our desire is to please ourselves. There everybody are in the same mood and same attitude in serving the Lord. Here everybody will have their own selfish attitude, own way of enjoying this sense organs. There, all our sense organs are focused to please the Lord. Here, all our sense organs are focused in pleasing ourselves. So, there, all the actions, karma is focused in performing the action in pleasing the Lord, by which already all our senses are also controlled and we are fully engaged. But here, we perform so many activities, karmas, just to please ourselves. Our sense organs are agitated in making sure we get the sense gratified. There, it is only Rishikesham. Okay, which means what? The Lord is the controller of all our senses and He is managing everything. Here we are trying to make use of our senses in a completely wrong way. Similarly, the so-called the fruits, the leaves are here, whichever which is shown here, like no, for example, your sense gratification, your, in a tree you will have multiple things, right? You will have good way of growth, then the bad way of growth, whatever be it, in terms of the pious activities, in terms of the the bad karma resulting in impious activities. So you'll have all those things. For example, religiosity. Religiosity is also important, which will give you some kind of a fruit, some kind of fruity results, which will actually what will make you still stay in the particular planet only. Okay, you follow some religious principles, some uh, rules, some regulations, which again will ensure you are in the same. For example, it's a big jail, right? So you follow that, and then you have to continually live in the chain only. Even the Vedic hymns, whatever mentioned here, no, Vedas also actually entangle one person in the same in the material world only. The more and more you will get to understand and learn about Vedas, Vedas will give you the guidelines by which you will be still continuing in the material world. So what Krishna is recommending is you have to cut down all those things. Cut down means get into the mood of vairagya, get into the mood of detachment and determination, and then stop focusing on towards the Lord, which will, towards the Lord means towards the root. Okay, so towards the root, then you will be able to come out of it. Otherwise, every branch, every tree, you will have something or the other. For example, there's so many devatas, like there are so many devatas sitting there, right? So what they will do, you go there, then you ask for something, they will definitely fulfill your wishes. For example, you want more of all the obstacles to be removed, whom you will go and pray. You will go and pray Lord Vinayaka or Ganapati Vignam. So he will remove all the obstacles, all the problems, and then he will ensure you whatever problems we are, we will do it. So when we go and pray to him, what should we pray? Yes, all the material things will come, but please remove the obstacles for my devotional service. For that, then he will definitely help. Right? Even for Saraswati, for example, when you go on Saraswati, anyway we are praying to her to get knowledge. So you have to go and pray to her. Please give me knowledge to understand Bhagavad Gita. Please give me knowledge to understand Vedas. please give me knowledge to understand Krishna, then she will definitely sanction. So accordingly, what we ask is also very important. This so-called economic development is nothing but so much ripe fruit. Okay, so the more and more we get entangled, our because of the pious karma, our development, our way of living, our status, everything will grow, and we will continue to live in this world only, without even thinking about going back. Because see, now the so-called comfort zone, right? We are all in the comfort zone, and we will not even bother about what will happen. But if at all we are put in a difficult situation, at that moment, then we will think. So Krishna himself has told there are four kinds of people who will approach him, right? Somebody who wants money, somebody who wants money and pride, some kind of famous nature, somebody who wants real knowledge, somebody who is in a very distressed state, somebody who is in a very problem state, who has got some wealth problems, or somebody who is very, very inquisitive, like, somebody who wants to know the real knowledge. So like that, there are four varieties. Devotees are considered like persons who want the real knowledge. So then Krishna will help them accordingly. So how it is nourished? By the material modes. This tree keeps on growing as and when our material nature is more and more fading. Like for example, you feed or you grow yourself more in Sattva-guna, the tree's one portion it will grow in the Sattva-guna tribe. If you feed the tree along with your more of Rajoguna, the same tree will grow with more of the Rajoguna activities. If your tree is grown with the Tamoguna, then all the tree will grow in the Tamoguna way. Okay, that is where it is very important. How do you, either you grow the tree or you don't grow the tree, you don't water the tree, you come out of it. Okay? But the more and more you water it, which means what, the more and more action you perform, the more and more desire, the tree keeps on growing. But Krishna wants us not to grow on this tree, but rather come out of the tree by looking upwards, where the root is there. Okay, I think I will stop here. If you have any specific questions, we can take it up. And we have 3 more minutes. If you have any specific questions beyond that, yes, Hare Krishna. I will unmute, then you can go. So you can unmute and then ask the question. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you for the class, Prabhu. It's very nice. Prabhu, some 4-5 class I missed it actually. Can you get the recording, Prabhu?
Yes, we are going to send the recording and the chapters also. And tomorrow,
Okay.
day after tomorrow, or the next day, I think Saturday, Sunday, we will finish 18 chapters, and one day, maybe Sunday, we will have one quick run through of all the chapters, so that you will get some basic idea. And also after that,
Okay.
we are planning to send it. We will share, because of the size and the how we are going to organize. We will put that into different groups of chapter, and we'll send it.
Okay, very thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Haribol, yes, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, today you explained one point that Sarva Dharman Parityajyam. Actually, my concern is what type of dharma we need to parityajyam, means we need to, no need to follow. Hello?
Yes, I'm getting the point. See, what he's saying is that is at the stage where you don't have to really focus on the so-called very regulative principles. If you have complete faith, you have so much of 100% faith, the so-called the dharma in terms of the religious duty, some kind of principle activities that you are following, even if you don't follow, the Lord says He will take care. Okay, for example,
Without following any, Prabhuji, sorry to disturb, actually,
yes.
Without following any dharma, is it possible to dedicate to Lord Krishna?
No.
For example, in last classes, you had some classes before, Sattvic, Rajik, Tamasic, the what type of nature we have, we need to belong to that category. Like Sattvic means what will be our thinking, Rajik, Dhanam, Sattvic. Then if any debate like my mentality, if is not following any dharma, how is it possible to dedicate to Lord Krishna?
See, one thing you have to understand. First thing is when you are in different modes, you have to understand, evaluate yourself, and try to bring into the sattva first. Okay, if you are in rajo, you have to come to sattva. If you are in tamo gunam or in the mode of ignorance, you try to gradually elevate yourself, come to the sattva gunam state. Because sattva gunam at least will give you proper guidance, proper way of performing your religious duties. In the other two categories, there is nothing called actually following the dharmic way. Ignorance is totally in the wrong direction. And the Rajoguna, you are doing it just for sake of fulfilling your own personal desires, which again is not very much recommended. So, but when you come to the Sattva Guna state, you will follow the religious principles, and you are already doing it, and which will help you at least get into the next stage. Okay, but what Krishna is saying
Then
in this,
Sarva Dharma.
yeah, correct. I come here. So what Krishna